All you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes. It is time for the truth. Right here. Right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
It's a latter-day prophet.
Saying against the hypocrisy of our time.
Joe Hicos.
You want You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is prized the most informed and backpackers in the Delta today. Together, we seek to tear down that magic wall, a separation between church and state, education, information, and engage on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hicos.
All right, hey, how are we doing out there tonight all across this great land of ours? You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate right now, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hicos, and we are glad to have you with us today on another great day here of broadcasting right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We're glad to have you with us, and I want to jump right into this. Joe, are you hearing me out there right now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. I never heard the intro, but hey, as long as I can hear you, that's good. Everybody, welcome to the show.
Well, it was encoding and it was coming into my recording, so let's hope it went out.
Yes, this technology thing is, I've had nothing but issues with technology all day long. So.
Oh, yeah, and it's great to just come home and have to do it all over again, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah, I've been, what's that? Remember that old song, They're Coming to Take Me Away? Ha ha, ho.
Yes, putting the sharp stuff away now. I'm just getting it away from me so I can.
Yeah, I felt that way the other night, listening to the Kane-Pence debate. It's like I was going about maybe 5 minutes, and now I'm going, oh my God, somebody shoot me, somebody put me on my misery. So I changed the channel for a little while and then come back. I think out of the whole debate, I probably watched a total about 15 minutes. But I did catch one part of it towards the end. We'll talk about that in just a moment here.
It's just amazing. That whole thing is like, oh, look, it's an anus with teeth and hair.
Well, I have to say this honestly. This is the first time I've actually listened to Tim Kaine to any length, even though just 5-minute increments over the period of an hour and a half, totaling maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes total. But I tell you, I now find somebody that I dislike more than listening to Hillary Clinton.
They're both right up there, but yes, you're absolutely right, because I never really listened to that guy ever before, and I tell you right now, I really never ever want to hear from him again. Yeah,
I just saw, if you talk about somebody, this guy was on autoplay all night long. It's like, as soon as, I think it was voice activation, as soon as you hear Pence's voice, he had to say something, he had to interrupt. And I don't know what he was trying to accomplish other than just to kind of, get in Pence's face and just remind the base what it's all, what a bad guy Donald Trump is.
Well, here, this is exactly all he was trying to do.
Yeah.
This right here, this is awesome. This is just exactly what it is, and this is, I don't know, this is typical right here. This little 30 seconds right here.
All right.
Donald Trump's idea that more nations should get nuclear weapons. Saudi Arabia, Japan, South Korea. Ronald Reagan said something really interesting about nuclear proliferation back in the 1980s. He said the problem with nuclear proliferation is that some fool or maniac could trigger a catastrophic event. And I think that's who Governor Pence's running mate is, exactly who President Reagan warned us about.
Senator, that was even beneath you and Hillary Clinton, and that's pretty low.
So, Trump's a maniac. Now it's like, whoa, okay, Trump's a maniac. Okay,
yeah.
Next, next, what are you going to say from there?
Yeah. Well, I do. There was one other thing I took out of this debate. The moderator, Elaine Quijano, I think her name is,
I didn't even know who that person was.
Yeah, I didn't. I've never heard of her either. But she certainly displaced Candy Crowley as the worst moderator ever. She couldn't. She had no control of the dialogue. There were several times where she just basically cut Pence off when he was trying to respond to some accusation. She couldn't keep Kaine from interrupting. I think I heard he interrupted something like 75 times during the course of the debate, and she only addressed it once.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, there you go. Talk about
what really bothers me about this whole thing? It's really starting to get really old, and unless the ratings on these things go down, it's never going to change. But it's time to have a quote unquote a different style moderator, someone that's a little more towards conservative point of view as opposed to the leftists we have moderating these things now. Because if the Democrat people can't, what are they afraid of? If they believe in their ideas so strongly, they ought to be able to take it in front of a conservative type moderator, as opposed to the leftists that let them say and get away with calling their opposition maniacs, and then go, "Well, you're running a terror campaign over there." It's like, well, has he called her a maniac yet?
Yeah,
So it's kind of like this is ridiculous stuff.
I think these debates really should.
Just so you know, Chris Wallace is not a conservative.
No, he's actually a registered Democrat, believe it or not. He is. I checked this out the other day when everybody was talking about Lester Holt, and Chris Wallace is a registered Democrat. He claims to be, I think he claims to be independent or libertarian or something, but he is a registered Democrat.
It's like, okay, whatever, but that's why we're giving you that guy. No. It's time to get somebody else on there. Get somebody completely different.
I think the whole format should be geared towards the public, and it should be moderators should be there to do nothing but check time. I don't think that they should be. I think all the questions should come from the public. Whether, it would be an audience that's there, whether it be through emails or Facebook or whatever. And those questions should be directed as the public wants to know. And then it should be, okay, this question is for Senator Pence. Boom, here's the question. Now you got 3 minutes to talk about this. Boom.
Yes, you know what? And I'd like to have the question not be any more than 3 minutes old. I don't want them having any prep on it. I want the question to come from them, and I don't want it to be through any kind of filter.
And I'll tell you what my big thing is, because one thing I firmly with this debate, just watching the format of it, you could tell that this woman actually at times led Tim Kaine into the conversation. She actually, the way she responded to the way Pence said something, or Kaine would say something, and then she would immediately shift over. Oh yeah, well along that line, Governor Pence, and she would try to go a little farther with it. She was trying as much as possible to lead the witness kind of thing, and we see that more and more and more. And I think if nobody should know what the questions are until that's why I like the idea of a forum. Okay, people coming into the forum. Let's say you got 100 people going to show up, and they're going to be sitting there watching this thing. All right, as they walk through the door, everybody's given a number. And then what happens is, 15, 20 minutes before the debate, what you do is you pick the however many questions you think you're going to get out. Let's say 10. Okay, you're going to pick 10 numbers out of the hat. Those 10 people are going to be able to pose the questions. That's how it should be done. And then nobody has any advance warning as to what's going on. And you really find out who's the most prepared. There's nobody going to convince me that Hillary Clinton, Tim Kaine proved it. He had everything memorized. Pence says this, I'm going to say this. He says this, I'm going to say that. And it's just the way. Now, I'm going to give you one article here. One article I found today, just to point this out. I don't know to what degree this takes place, but I do know that the Clinton campaign knows before they go into any environment what's going to be said, what's going to be done. Steve Harvey. Remember Steve Harvey, right? The guy that couldn't get the Miss Universe right. He has a show out here in L.A., and he had Hillary Clinton on it. And there was a leaked email, a leaked memo that was obtained that the Clinton campaign was sent all the questions 1 week ahead of time before the interview between her and Steve Harvey on the show. She knew exactly what she was going to be asked. And they say the reason it was such a big deal, well, Steve Harvey's not a heavyweight anyways. He doesn't come out here and try to nail people. He's a former jock, DJ out here, turned game show host. He does a Family Feud. He's kind of like, he's a really lightweight guy. He's more of a humorist than anything else. So he doesn't ask any real hardball questions anyway. But he had her on there, and they did a little waltz through the past of Hillary Clinton, showed photos of her, back in the day and stuff like that. But she knew everything that was going to happen before she got there. And they said what they found remarkable was how she acted like she was surprised when they started putting these photos up on the wall. Okay, oh, is that me? That kind of stuff. Okay. So, it's a microcosm of what I think goes on. Hillary Clinton campaign is so controlled because nobody really wants her in the public too long, because if she's there too long, I'm waiting to see this next debate is more of a town hall. And from what I've heard, the analysis is that Hillary's great on the first answer because it's memorized. But then if there's follow-up questions or she gets questions from an audience member or something like that, she's not real keen on how to answer it. In fact, I got a clip I'm going to play later that will point this out to you in a town hall when a woman asked her about Obamacare for part-time employees and the way that she handled the question. So just to give you that. And I've got 2 clips today we're going to play because we're going to talk about a couple of things here. But I only have one thing. We're going to go to break. When I come back, short dissertation here on the Kaine-Pence debate. Just one thing, one aspect of this. I think if conservatives could pick up on this one response to the abortion issue, they could kill this issue in a New York minute, if I can use that phrase. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back. A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and I want to get into just a short dissertation here on the Kane-Pence debate that took place on, what was it, Tuesday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, I believe. Yeah, Tuesday night. Okay. Boy, the week has gone by so fast. I forgot. I've lost track of the days here. And it was towards the end of the debate. So there may be a lot of you out here that didn't catch this if you tried to watch it at all. Probably one of the most mundane, boring debates I've ever heard because it was pretty much each one just kind of reciting the other's talking points, that kind of stuff. Anyway, this is kind of how it went down, and it was towards the end. One of the big things here, the way that the left tries to advance the abortion debate is putting it into the laps of a woman's right to choose. And one of the things we've heard, if you'll remember back in 2008, when Barack Obama was facing off with John McCain at Rick Warren's church out here in Saddleback, out here in California, and the question was put toward him about abortion. And his first response was it was above his pay grade. But he had made a reference to the fact that women, they consult with their spouses or their partner. They talk to their pastors or their ministers. They talk to their doctors. They go through this full gambit. Apparently, they go through this full gambit of investigation and consultation before they make a decision as to whether or not to terminate the life of the unborn child in their womb. And nobody has ever, in my opinion, ever responded to this thing in a way that anybody that calls himself a Christian conservative should respond. And that is, Pence tried it. He talked about the sanctity of life. Okay, he went to Scripture. God says, before you were in the womb, I knew who you were, and stuff like that. And that is the premise of the Christian belief that all life is sacred, is that all life is conceived by God. All life is ordained. It doesn't matter how you come into the world. It's that God has something for each person to do. And now, it doesn't mean that each person has a mission when they come into this world, because I'm one of these people that believe that people live and die for the purpose, to some degree, of affecting the lives of others. And I'm not going to get into a big dissertation about that. I'd have to actually kind of give you a sermon. But I think all things, I do believe in the Bible, which says all things, meaning all things, work toward good to those who love God and seek Him. All right, so I look at death probably a little bit different than a lot of people, in the fact that when somebody dies that I love very dearly or something, I'm not sitting there asking God why. Why? When my father passed away, that was probably one of the most traumatic deaths I've experienced in quite a while. My father passed away in 1998, and we were just getting into ministry together. We were working ministry together, big ministry, prison ministry down in Mexico, and he was diagnosed with cancer and died about 8 months later. And that was a big hit for me. But I didn't sit there and question God as to why, because I'm not God. I don't know why God allows what he allows, the way he allows it, and everything else. I know that everything works towards a purpose, and so on. That's where I'm at from a spiritual standpoint. But I just can't stomach is when we have people like Tim Kaine and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi and all the rest of them who sit here and try to talk to us about the importance of life, the equality that we all deserve, and everything, and completely disregard the unborn because they're not paying taxes yet. Okay, let's put it that way, all right? So we're sitting here, I'm listening to this question from this moderator, Keanu, and she says, you have both been open about the role that faith has played in your lives. Can you discuss in detail a time when you struggled to balance your personal faith and public policy position? And she asked Senator Kaine to go first. And he went into this dissertation about the death penalty. He had a hard time enforcing the law in terms of being the governor of Virginia. They have the death penalty there. And he had a hard time enforcing it. But because he was an elected official, he did it. I personally, as a Catholic, we Catholics are against the death penalty. And so just because of that, I really struggled with that. But it just, I had to do it because that's that's the equivalent to Bill Clinton saying, "I'll never let my Christianity get in the way of being president." Okay, that kind of stuff. And there was quite a back and forth between him and Pence. Pence referred to, as I said, the scripture. I believe it's in Jeremiah, 1st chapter, 5th verse. I think, if my memory is right, that all life proceeds out of the belief that what God says, before you were formed in the womb, I knew you, and I ordained you. And there's a purpose for every person being born, even if that purpose is to die. All right? Jesus was born to die, and his death was what? The way of redemption. So death is something that God allows because it does serve a purpose. And if I could just... I have to go on this. I have to go with this thread here. The 9/11 attack that we experienced here in America, over 3,500 people died in New York in one single swoop. And the biggest thing that happened was everybody turned to God. Isn't it amazing how quick the country turns to God when something catastrophic like this happens? But what happened afterwards, after the initial shock and awe of it all, is that people began to question, why would God allow something like this? My belief is, based on what I believe the Bible teaches, is that every one of those people were marked to die on that particular day. And their death did one of two things to the people around them. They either strengthened their faith in God, or it weakened their faith in God. And that, in and of itself, is a purpose. You'll remember in the story of Exodus, God told Moses, I am going to harden the heart of Pharaoh by doing these certain things. He knew what he was going to do, was going to harden the heart of Pharaoh. So you would say, well, why would God do that? Well, because it served his purpose. It served his purpose because he knew the heart of Pharaoh. He says, I'm going to harden his heart. He didn't say, I'm going to make him a bad guy. He's saying, I'm going to show you what a heart he has. But in the process of doing that, it will also provide a means for redemption of the people that I have chosen to save, through whom the gospel eventually came. So Cain is sitting here defending the death penalty. Or, I really just struggled with that. I had a hard time with that. And I couldn't help but wonder, if you had such a hard time executing people that were guilty of crime, how can you find it so easy to go along with killing people that haven't even entered into life yet in terms of doing anything right or wrong?
Oh, they're the most innocent among us, John.
Yeah, so if you have such an issue with death and life and death in terms of the living, how do you reconcile in your mind that you would take the life of an unborn child and consider that justifiable?
He doesn't have a problem with it, John. He's just making that crap up.
Oh, exactly. And that's why, here's the argument, because in the back and forth that went with him and Pence, he starts making all these referrals. And this is the argument of the left. I said all that to say this. The argument of the left about abortion is, one, it's a woman's right to choose. And two, we should trust women to be able to make their own decisions. So there's two things there. There is the vote pandering. A woman should have the right to choose. Legislated immorality, as I refer to it. Okay, Roe versus Wade is legalized abortion, right? Kane says, well, we should trust women. Why should we have legislation? Well, you have legislation. Roe versus Wade provided a means of legislating murder. And that's not the way the left looks at it, but that's what it is. But his argument is completely contradictory by saying we shouldn't have laws that would punish women for getting an abortion. Nobody said we should have laws about. I'm saying we should have no laws, period, one way or the other. Because then that puts it back on the woman who we're supposed to trust. The second part of the argument, and this is the rebuttal that everybody should offer when you're talking about abortion with your liberal friends, is it's very simple. Why can't, when we hear about the woman getting counsel from her spouse and her minister and her doctor and her friends, why isn't that woman getting all that stuff before she goes out and commits the act of conception?
Well, I mean, here you go, John. Let's just take it from his own words. We support the constitutional right of American women to consult their own conscience, their own supportive partner, their own minister, but make their own decision about pregnancy. Yeah, okay, so they made the decision to get pregnant.
Yeah, whether you make, yeah, exactly. The point is, why are we sitting here trying to rationalize and justify the murder of the unborn by saying that the woman who decides to get an abortion has thought this all through? Because obviously she hasn't thought it all through, or she wouldn't be pregnant to begin with.
Thank you. And even if there is no, it was through some other ill means. She was raped or incest or all that other stuff. You still don't have to kill that child.
No. And now, and I've been asked a minister. I've been asked this several times. Well, what about rape and incest? I just say this. This is what I say to people. I certainly understand somebody through that type of an act, getting pregnant, not wanting to bear forth that child. I can understand the dilemma. I can understand the confusion. I can understand the trauma and everything else that goes with it. But I could still never say, yeah, go get an abortion.
Yeah, go kill it. It's okay. Kill it.
Yeah. But I would not condemn a person. I don't condemn people that have abortions, women that have abortions. I'm just saying, because that's not my place. You will stand before your God someday, and you will give an account for this. And if you're not saved, you will be held accountable. You will pay a price for what you've done. All right? And a lot of Christian women have in the past gotten abortions. They go before God. Our Bible teaches you go before God, you confess, you repent, you're forgiven. Okay, that's fine. But there's going to be a lot of these women, a lot of these Hillary women out there that are not going to do that, and they're going to face God someday and probably face the very soul that they terminated and have to give an account for their life. And that is, but that if you're worried about what you're doing and you're worried about trusting women, and if you have their best interest in heart, that's what you should be telling them. Not, it's okay, we understand, you're not ready, you can't afford, you're not mature enough, you don't have a way of paying for it, the husband walked out on you, or your partner walked out on you, whoever's responsible for this walked out on you, you don't have a good relationship, as I said, you're not mature enough or whatever. Those are all excuses, they're not reasons.
And it's certainly not punishment either.
No, and it's not punishment to be punished with a child. I remember Barack Obama saying that. You know what? If you're going to look at it that way, maybe it is punishment, and maybe they do deserve it because they didn't think about it before they entered into the act that brought it about. That's where the wisdom comes. That's where you get your consultation from your partner and your minister and your doctor and your family and everybody else that supports you. You get that before you commit the act. Once you've committed it, you've done it. We trust you to make the right decisions before you get knocked up, for crying out loud. Okay, that's the answer to this thing. It's not, well, it's a woman's right to choose. And whenever they throw these arguments at conservatives, they all get tongue-tied. Nobody wants to say anything. You gotta put it back here. Every one of us is accountable for what we decide to do. And abortion is no different than murder, than adultery, than theft, than lying. Sin in the eyes of God is sin. He doesn't have major and minor sins. There is no venial and mortal sins if you're a Catholic out there listening to me. Sin is sin. Sin is rebellion against his terms and conditions and his word. That's it. Plain and simple. And you either repent about it or you don't. But it's gonna come before you on that day, one way or the other. So that's the argument here. We got to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to change the subject here, get some into some other substance here. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907.
If you've got joint pain, let me ask you a question. Would you like a high-quality knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? But just in case your reception isn't great, let me ask you again. Would you like a pain-relieving knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Well, if you have Medicare insurance, you could qualify for these pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And these are high-quality braces. They are very comfortable, and they've helped thousands relieve their pain. Now, I'd like you to imagine going on vacation, playing with your grandkids, just living your life again without pain. The Mobility Hotline is a referral service that connects folks with Medicare coverage and other insurance to accredited companies offering pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And don't you worry about the Medicare paperwork. They'll handle it all for you. And they'll deliver your braces for free. Call the Mobility Hotline now. The call's free. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back, and this is the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and I want to kind of shift gears here. I probably spent about 5 minutes more than I really wanted to on that topic, but I guess all things work toward good, so it is what it is. Okay, I think I already talked about the leaked memo about Hillary Clinton, right? She knew what was going to happen ahead of time on the Steve Harvey show. You know, it's probably not a big deal when you go on a show like Steve Harvey. Like I said, everything is light and puff anyway. But it is indicative of how easy it is for the left to do what they do. And Joe and I were talking before the show in terms of debate formats. I really believe they need to do away with moderators and they should become timekeepers more than moderators. And the questions and everything should come out of the audience, out of the American public, whether it be people coming into the forum to view it live or through social media or emails or whatever. That's how it should be. The American public should be conducting the debate by asking the questions they want to ask and asking it the way they want to ask, and making sure that neither candidate gets off the hook because a moderator decides, we're going too far here, we're getting too deep, we might actually get some substance out of this, we got to move on to the next topic kind of thing. And, that would probably be the best way to do it. We'll see what happens on this next debate because it's supposed to be some kind of town hall, and from what I understand, there's supposed to be questions. I think it's going to be split half and half or something like that. Moderators got to get their 15 minutes of fame, right? So anyway, I want to move on to this thing here because today's going to be kind of like a bullet point list of just more indiscretions and unethical conduct by the Clinton campaign and the Obama campaign. And in the second hour, I really want to devote the second hour of our show today to Obamacare. I've been collecting stuff on Obamacare now for a couple weeks, and the American public really needs to know what's going on here because Hillary Clinton is out there defending Obamacare while her husband is out there trashing it. And at the same time, Hillary Clinton is trying to start. She's little by little, she's kind of walking back some things. She's out there talking about what a great thing Obamacare is, but she's going to do some stuff to fix it. She's going to make it better. She's going to make it, and you know what that means. That means single payer system. That's what, and we know, and we've talked about it. We believe that was a whole end game anyway. The point being, at this point in time, Obama does not want everybody to know what a piece of trash legislation this is, at least until he's out of office and preferably heading up the UN up north, okay? And but here's the thing here. We've been talking a lot about these WikiLeaks, a lot of conversation about WikiLeaks and some of the things that have come out of there, the DNC hack. We know that one of the narratives right now by the left is, of course, that Russia is the one responsible for all these hacks, And the objective behind pushing that narrative is the fact that anything that comes out in any leaks from anybody can't be credible because Russia is the source. And so therefore they're doing this counter-espionage or it's misinformation. And it's all a way to try to continue to cover Hillary Clinton's ineptness, her unethical conduct while she was Secretary of State, and even before that. I mean, this woman, if you look up corruption, you should see her picture there, and if not, they should put it there, okay? Preferably on America's Most Wanted type poster or whatever. But anyway, article that I have here from Newsmax, Clyde Hughes, this is posted a couple days ago. What's the date? Yeah, 2 days ago. Hillary Clinton under pressure in 2010 to stop WikiLeaks' Julian Assange from dumping more U.S. secrets, reportedly asked at a meeting, "Can't we just drone this guy?" The comment, reported by the website True Pundit, has been gaining traction despite attempts by the Clinton campaign to spin it away, according to The Hill, a publication, a leftist rag out there in Washington. It reportedly came while Clinton was Secretary of State and under increased pressure from the Obama administration's inner circle to stop Assange from delivering leaked cables about the U.S. war in Afghanistan. And this is in 2010. All right, so this Obama's like 1 year into his term at this point. And I think at that time, am I right here with my chronology, Joe? That was Obama. About that time, he was starting to talk about pulling our troops out of Afghanistan. Was it around that time?
Oh yeah, he'd been talking about that the entire time. Remember, that's what he was going to do.
Yeah, but I think he was actually in the process of trying to begin doing it or something like that.
Yeah, he set down the timeline. This is exactly how we're going to do it. Hey, bad guys, this is exactly where we're going to do it. This so you can do all your planning around the time we're leaving.
Yeah, exactly. So now, of course, what's coming under attack is this website called True Pundit. All right. Now, I don't know if this particular website, how credible it is, or anything else, but I think nobody's really denying this. Nobody on the Clinton side. The reason it's not denying it is because the media is not really playing it up. Nobody's out there floating. I found this, Newsmax found it, but it says Clinton's early morning November meeting at state's top brass who floated various proposals to stop, slow, or spin the WikiLeaks contamination. Well, the spin has been going on forever, and that's what the spin is right now. It really hit the airways when Nancy Pelosi's server got hacked. And she's coming out to, it was the Russians. We can't. I hope the Republicans don't try to rely on anything coming out of these leaks because it's the Russians. Because the Russians want Trump to win. And the reason they want Trump to win is because Trump worships Vladimir Putin. And he thinks that Vladimir Putin is a good leader. That was one of the things in the debate, both debates, that I found kind of comical. But again, nobody really addressed it. Pence tried to. But the point is, Donald Trump admires Vladimir Putin, right? He does. He said he was a better leader than Obama. He didn't say he was a good person, and that's about as true as you're going to get. Putin has been more effective since Obama's been in office than Obama has been effective since Obama's been in office. Okay, And Donald Trump, probably didn't word it exactly like he should. He just kind of came off the top. Well, the guy's a better leader than Obama. Yeah, I think he's a better leader than Obama. Does that mean I'm a Russian? Does that mean I'm a communist? Does that mean I'm a socialist? No, the socialists belong on the other side of the aisle. All right? So anyway, this it says in frustration, Clinton blurted out, "Can't we just drone this guy?" Yeah, Clinton openly inquired, and everybody laughed about it. Okay, everybody laughed about it until such time that they realized she was serious. It says here that the statement drew laughter from the room, which quickly died off when the secretary kept talking in a terse manner. So I guess she was really serious. Can't we? I mean, we got rid of bin Laden. Can't we get rid of this guy?
Well, this is after, and as it says in this report, after Clinton said Assange, after all, was a relatively soft target walking around freely, thumbing his nose without any fear of reprisals from the United States.
Yeah, and think about that.
This is the kind of crap that Barack Obama stands up in front of the UN and everybody else says, I put a stop to this.
Well, let's put it in another vein here. We have the long list of people that have disappeared from existence tied in with the Clintons over the past 40, 50 years. And the list, depending on where you go, is anywhere between 33 and 37 people that we know of. Okay, people, 17 Secret Service agents. I mean, what are the odds of that? 17 Secret Service agents that have worked with the Clintons are all dead now. We've had people dying of suicide with a gun bullet to the back of their head, that kind of stuff. Okay, so what it points to, in my opinion, is that somebody like Hillary Clinton just can nonchalantly think, "Hey, can't we just waste this guy?"
Yeah, but Donald Trump's the maniac.
Yeah, Donald Trump's the maniac. He's the one you don't want pushing that red button out there. Okay, but she's kind of like, "Hey, can't we just get rid of this guy?" And it's like, how can you make a statement like that unless you're just used to doing it? Hey, man, we take care of people like this. We just hey, this guy, he would have been history if he was just messing with me, that kind of thing. And so I've been ridiculed about this by saying, well, you're just, it's because you're a conservative, it's because you're so anti-Hillary and everything else. You just say and do whatever you want to do, and things like Hillary's just so bad. I had a guy the other day just really jumping all over me. You're calling Hillary Clinton a murderer?
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah. And she's in the same boat with Al Capone. Al Capone, where did you get that from? Well, what did Al Capone do? He paid off politicians and law enforcement, and he killed people that he didn't like. I said, yeah, it looks the same to me. All right, it is what it is. Anyway, hey, we got to go to a quick break. When we come back, another one here I want to talk about, and that is the new emails that are indicating that the Clinton Foundation has and was working hand in hand with the State Department. Boy, if there's ever been a corrupted agency in the United States government outside the Attorney General, it's our State Department. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
The Syndicate wants you. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. You can get all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. That's theconservativesyndicate.net.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and I want to, Joe just popped me over an article here during the break here, and interesting, when we talk about the Internet, the FCC's take over the Internet, and now we have the Federal Election Committee chairwoman upset that the Republicans want to do everything they say they want to do. I got to always preface that now because what they say is not necessarily what they'll do. But apparently they want to somehow they want to protect the press or the free speech. Am I reading this right, Joe?
Well, basically, this is an article in the Washington Examiner by Paul Bernard. In the latest partisan escalation of the Federal Election Commission, a top Democratic commissioner has ripped Republican commissioners' bid to protect books, radio, and internet media from regulation as pitiful. Ann Ravel, former FEC chairman, joined Democrats at the meeting this month to block Republicans' Lee Goodman's proposal to explicitly expand the press exemption from regulations to books, satellite radio, and internet-based news. So they wanted to expand the exemption. All right, so you were more free to use it. And pushing this plan aside, Ravel said she didn't have enough time to consider the proposal. Goldman noted the proposal has been under consideration for a while. That prompted Ravel to mock Goodman's public argument was meant to feed the story to the Washington Examiner, which we're reading from, which covered his concerns that the FEC Democrats are trying to regulate conservative media, especially news outlets and news aggregators like the Judge Report that are online. I presume you're just trying to utilize this argument for the Washington Examiner, she said. That comment was tweeted by David Leventhal, a senior reporter for the Center of Public Integrity who follows elections and the Federal Elections Commission. Ravel later tweeted a correction. I was wrong, Dave. He chose the Daily Caller instead. Another is pitiful. Goldman told secrets that the latest attack on the proposals again show the Democrats are hostile to free press rights generally, and in the past, he has noted their antagonism to conservative media, which is heavily internet-based and on the radio, including Sirius XM. Ravel's pitiful comment appeared to refer to conservative news attention to Goodman's proposal. Once again, Commissioner Ravel has chosen to inject decisive ad hominem rhetoric into an honest debate about the scope of press freedom in America. He said, instead of name-calling, Commissioner Ravel should explain why she wants to assert the power as a government official to ban books and motion pictures. She hosed an explanation for what appears to be prejudice towards organizations like Fox News, Washington Examiner, and the Daily Caller. And that was Paul Bernard, the Washington Examiner's Washington Secrets columnist. So, yeah, the Democrats are still out there. They want to go ahead, and as Hillary Clinton has said, all your rights need regulated.
All right, so the game plan here is not necessarily to stifle the press, only to stifle the press if they're putting things out there that are counterproductive to what the liberals want. I can see this right now. These guys that publish books about Hillary Clinton, we can't allow that because that's gonna sway the electorate in a way that they shouldn't be swayed. The movies, Dinesh D'Souza, we need to ban Dinesh D'Souza. He's as bad as that guy that produced that Muhammad video. Because he's actually presenting facts to back up what it is he's saying, and we don't need that because that would unfairly sway the electorate one way or the other. We don't want facts to enter into this at all.
John, in that mold, John, here, let's go with this. We were just talking about Assange, and she wanted to go ahead and drone him. Reason why? Revelations of these U.S. diplomat-generated correspondence were damaging on many levels, and among thousands of examples included, and here they are. One example detailed a discussion between Yemeni President Ali Abdul Saleh and General David H. Petraeus, where Saleh indicated he would cover up and accept blame for America's missile strikes against al-Qaeda in Yemen. Another one, U.S. diplomats offered various countries a meeting with President Obama and untold millions of dollars if these countries agreed to accept detainees from Guantanamo Bay. U.S. diplomats engaged in low-level spying by collecting foreign diplomats' personal information, including credit card numbers, to track their global travel itineraries. Now, another one. The cables also exposed the sensitive behind-the-scenes diplomacy involved in winning sanctions against Iran. Cables exposed U.S. officials plan to extract highly enriched uranium from Pakistan. Intelligence was divulged on North Korea's ties to Tehran's weaponry program and how Iran obtained missiles that could strike Moscow and Western European cities. Documents were released naming Arab officials and their concerns and complaints about Iran's nuclear program. And there's a few more here, but we're going to run out of time. So, yeah, we don't like what we're going to say. We'll either regulate them or we just might drone them.
Yeah, well, it's perfect, when you line it up with the talking points that come out of the Clinton campaign. The Kaine debate the other night, Clinton's debate the other night with Donald Trump. Everything is kept in general terms and ambiguities. It's not. We really don't want to get into the details of things. What it is, like Kaine pointing out there. Well, we got a 5-point plan. First, we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. And then we're going to do this. And you're sitting there listening to him. And how are you going to do that? How are you going to? Well, it doesn't matter how we're going to do it. We're going to do it because this is Hillary Clinton. She's been in politics all of her life. She's been a champion of women. She's championed children. Okay, fine. There's another rebuttal for abortion. Tell me this woman's a champion for children, and she's helped to kill over 50 million of them. Okay.
Yeah. If you can get to a birthday, you're okay. And so if I do that, you're in trouble.
Yeah. So. See, now along with that line, just this idea, and this is the kind of thing that comes out in books. This next thing I want to talk about here, we got just about a minute to cover this one. That's about all I really need on it. New emails that show how much the Clinton Foundation worked with the State Department. The fresh set of emails from Democratic Hillary Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State sheds new light on the coordination of efforts that took place between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department. In one exchange, Bill Clinton was given a speech to a Keystone Pipeline company, somebody tied in with the Keystone Pipeline, and they contacted the State Department. What can Bill say and what can't he say? And he was told by Cheryl Mills, we'd prefer he doesn't say anything. All right, because Hillary Clinton's views on this shifted a lot. So we'll talk about this later. We got to get to the top of the hour here. Time for the Edwards Notebook and then pay some bills. We'll be right back. We got a lot more for you. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
Is America still a nation of laws? Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook,
One of the important aspects of American civility and common decency is the fact that the United States was founded on, among other things, the principle of personal liberty. She was also to be a nation of laws, meaning that no one was to be above the law, including powerful politicians and those that worked with and for them. However, if you consider recent events, including Mrs. Clinton's numerous scandals ranging from the neglect of Benghazi to her email mishandlings, which may have placed our beloved republic in extreme danger because of enemies both foreign and domestic that most likely have hacked into vital information regarding U.S. security, etc. So now the U.S. is potentially vulnerable to our enemies. But FBI Director James Comey basically said, hey, no big deal, probably to help Mrs. Clinton's campaign. But if it wasn't a big deal, then why, oh why, grant immunity to the 5 biggest participants in the scandal? Oh well. Shame on you, Director Comey, for displaying your callous disregard for the law and teaching young Americans that if you are a big, powerful Democrat, you are above the law. I'm Ron Edwards.
Blowing away the myths and revealing the truth. You can continue to blow away the myths with Ron Edwards on Facebook, Twitter, and theronedwards.com.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. The Conservative Syndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing, and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. 866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
It's a latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and let me tie up the loose end here. I probably began that last dissertation just a little bit too close to the hour here. Tried to rush it a little bit and just kind of got a little discombobulated with it. But what I'm trying to do here is going through a list of situations and circumstances that are taking place right now while all the other stuff is out there, while all the rhetoric about Donald Trump's racism, bigotry, xenophobia, and everything else being recycled every single day. There's stuff going on in Clinton's side that the media is paying very little attention to. There's only a couple of publications out there that are even talking about some of this stuff. And a lot of them are conservative sites like the Daily Caller, Newsmax, CNS, places like that. And as Joe was talking about, there's an active move on the part of the left through the Federal Election Commission. By the way, these guys who are now trying, I think, adamantly to nationalize the election for fear of, quote-unquote, cybersecurity threats that might taint the electoral results. You know, it might come actually show or indicate that, Pennsylvania doesn't really have a 106% turnout in certain districts, that kind of thing, and they don't have districts that everybody votes for exactly just one candidate. And I was talking about these new emails that are coming out that are talking about the collusion that's been taking place between the State Department and the Clinton Foundation. It underscores what I'm always telling people whenever we talk about Clinton. Everything that Clintons touch, they turn to crap. They taint, they pollute, and they destroy. They corrupt everything they put their hands to. Everything they put their hands to. And I was pointing out to the fact that there was an email that went to Cheryl Mills that was asking how former President Bill Clinton should talk about the Keystone Pipeline in a forthcoming speech. You know, one of those speeches, you know, that he gets paid $250,000 for. All right. She says, I prefer he not speak on this, lest folks think this will be untoward influence. So she's saying, well, we really don't want him to influence anything, okay? Bill Clinton did at least one-page speech for a company financing the pipeline, and he endorsed the Keystone Pipeline. Hillary Clinton took a variety of positions, and now she opposes it because it's politically expedient. It panders to that social, what was the eco-wacko, the environmental wackos out there, that kind of thing. In another conversation, Huma Abedin spoke with Foundation employee Doug Bann about securing invites to state events for donors and their friends, as well as determining why a friendly lobbyist was having trouble arranging an audience for her clients at state. So somebody wanted to get in front of the Secretary of State, and she was having an issue. They couldn't get in front of her. What's the big deal? You know, that kind of stuff. Now, here's the funny part of it. not funny, but oh my God funny. All right. This was something that was brought up the other night in the debate, but I want to tell you, Tim Kaine said this about the State Department. And we just laid out to you how these emails document or talk about the collusion between the State Department and the Clinton Foundation. So what is Tim Kaine? What's his response? The State Department did an investigation, and they concluded everything Hillary Clinton did as Secretary of State was completely in the interest of the United States. So, we're going to go to the person being accused of the crime and ask them to do an investigation on it. Just stomach that for a second. Just let that roll around in your head, because a lot of times we hear these comments from politicians, and it just goes in one ear and out the other.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah. It's like, okay, FBI James Comey couldn't find any collusion, couldn't find any obstruction of justice, and everybody just goes, oh, okay, well, you must have looked. But then we find out what? He granted immunity to the witnesses that would have had the testimony that would have proven obstruction of justice. No big deal. He then allows them to do what? Destroy the evidence.
Yeah, couldn't find no intent. Couldn't find any evil intent.
Evil intent. Who discerns what evil intent is? You're going to go to the people that are practicing the evil and say, "Hey, we need to discern whether this is evil or not." Well, no, it fits our agenda. It fits, it ends justifies the means. That's the liberal mantra. There's no evil intent there. We did everything with good intent. All right? Yeah, good intent. It's just, how do you define good?
Meanwhile, have U.S. Navy service members that are going to go to jail for less.
Yeah. So, and as I said, then right after that, what happens? We find out that not only did James Comey grant immunity to 5 state aides that could have been their testimony and the evidence they presented could have proven obstruction of justice in a court of law. And no wonder James Comey said, well, no reasonable prosecutor would take this on. Yeah, you exempted all the witnesses from any possible trial or producing evidence, and then you turn around and you allow the computers to be destroyed that you were looking at. The letter signed by 4 Republican committee chairmen, they put a letter out there that the immunity deals for former Clinton Chief of Staff Cheryl Mills and ex-campaign staffer Heather Samuelson included a side arrangement obliging the FBI to destroy their laptops. Not only did Cheryl Mills, not only was she allowed to destroy her laptop, the FBI destroyed it for her. There you go.
That's even better.
And you're telling me that James Comey is on the up and up? I'm sorry, Mr. Director. You are a weasel. All right? You don't want to be called weasel? No, you're not honest. You are a weasel.
Remember, he said it was done professionally.
Yeah. You're a professional weasel. All right, we get that. Anyway, this is a short break here. We got to go. We got to pay some bills. Be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back. You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. And I just mentioned here, just before we went to break, that the FBI not only colluded, it seems like everybody's in collusion here, and it just underscores so much what I believe, that everything the Clintons touch, they corrupt. I mean, I'm certain that there has been, to a certain degree, corruption since Obama came into office. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But it just seems with Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State, it just seems to have gone to a whole different level. So much so that we have our president communicating with Hillary Clinton via email using a pseudonym so that he wouldn't be tracked. He wouldn't be nailed to the wall as part of this collusion. And it almost makes me think that, Obama just kind of like, yeah, let her go. Let her do it. If it serves the means, let her do what she wants to do. And if worse comes to worse, we can't always throw her under the bus. I sometimes wonder if Obama maybe doesn't want Hillary to get caught. Maybe he does want her to get caught. It would be that ultimate distraction. Throw Hillary Clinton under the bus, and everybody would take their eyes off of Obama, because there's a lot of things going on with Obama right now that should be of concern to the American people out there right now. So, having said that, let me see if I want to move down here. Oh, here's the latest one. This is the one. This is 2012 all over again, guys. You remember what happened in 2012? Benghazi got bombed. They got attacked. People died. Americans died. And one of the things that was being floated out there early on, and we were on this from the very beginning, is that there was gun running going on. And the reason why nobody rescued Ambassador Stevens is because it was an election year and nobody wanted to get tied to this gun running that was going on. Now, the gun running, as far as the investigation and the committees and Darrell Issa and Trey Gowdy, they didn't, like the FBI, they didn't really go after the meat. They didn't go after what all they wanted to do was just kind of prove that Hillary Clinton, that there was some kind of stand-down order that was responsible for the death of these Americans. That was the least of the concerns, in my opinion. The idea that there was guns being run through the Libyan embassy and being provided to dissidents that were supposed to be, I guess, in the process of trying to eliminate Syrian refugee, the Syrian problem over there. Is that? Do I have my demographics right there, Joe?
You're trying to say that again, John.
Okay, the Libyan gun running was that to help Gaddafi, or was that to take Gaddafi out? Was it to help Gaddafi go against the Syrians, or was it to take Gaddafi out? I've lost track of that.
It was supposed to help whoever we were on the side of in Syria, because that's where these guns were going.
Okay, so it was supposed to help the Syrian dissidents take out Gaddafi.
Or no, take out Assad.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. So Gaddafi.
I think that's who we're against. See, they've got it so screwed up now. We don't even know who the hell our enemies are over there.
Yeah, well, the reason I bring it up is because it's mentioned here. The CIA said it was arming rebels fighting Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. So that's what, and this might be, we might be looking at a timeline issue here. Because I know at one time, I think at the time the Libyan embassy was, I know what it was. Oh, no, I've lost my timeline here. I think we might be talking about two different events here. Taking out Gaddafi was before, he was already gone when the Libyan embassy was attacked, was he not?
Negative.
He was still in power.
I do believe so, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, let's look at the article and here let's discern what this article is about. The reason I bring it up, because whatever the circumstances were, and as we go through this article, the air will clear, I'm sure. But we know that in 2012, the Muhammad video was used to cover up the fact that there was something going on in the embassy that shouldn't have been going on. And it was the gun running, that they were running guns through the Libyan embassy to rebels. Let's keep it at that right now. Okay, and whether those rebels were against Gaddafi or against Assad, they were rebels that were being provided. It was the Obama's Iran-Contra scandal. That's the way I've always framed it. Okay, now, here's the deal. The Obama administration is moving to dismiss charges against an arms dealer that it, meaning the Obama administration, had accused of selling weapons that were destined for Libyan rebels. Lawyers for the Justice Department on Monday filed a motion in federal court in Phoenix to drop the case against the arms dealer, an American named Mark Touré, whose lawyers also signed the motion. The deal, here it is, the deal averts a trial that threatened to cast additional scrutiny on Hillary Clinton's private emails as Secretary of State and to expose reported Central Intelligence Agency's attempts to arm rebels fighting Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. Government lawyers were facing a Wednesday deadline to produce documents to Touré's legal team, and the trial was officially set to begin on Election Day, although it likely would have been delayed by the protracted disputes about classified information in the case. A Touré associate asserted that the government dropped the case because the proceedings could have embarrassed Clinton and President Barack Obama by calling attention to the reported role of their administration in supplying weapons that fell into the hands of Islamic extremist militants. They don't want this stuff to come out because it will look really bad for Obama and Clinton just before the election, said the associate.
Yeah, which is exactly why the Benghazi thing was so horrible back in 2012, because that was right before the election then.
Exactly. So Ambassador Stevens was allowed to die because nobody wanted to expose what was going on here. They knew, there's no doubt in my mind, and I can't for the life of me figure out, I understand why Darrell Issa missed it. I can't understand how Trey Gowdy missed it. But the whole idea here is that Stevens was allowed to go down because it was a convenient way of removing somebody who would have been a central figure should this gun running have come front and center. He would have been, because he would have been the guy signing the receipts, okay? He would have been the guy directing the traffic. And so we knew this, that there were guns that were being funneled into the Libyan embassy that was for the purpose of arming rebels. In this case, they're saying again to go against Gaddafi. It might have been both. It might have been Gaddafi and the Syrian rebels going against Assad. We don't know that for sure. But what we do know is that the Islamic terrorists that stormed the embassy got those weapons. And those weapons have shown up in the hands of ISIS. So, any pretense about the idea that, as Kane was trying to put out the other night, and what the whole administration is trying to put out, what the campaign is trying to put out, is that the killing of bin Laden is the big deal. We took out bin Laden. So what? ISIS replaced bin Laden, and they're a hell of a lot more of a problem than bin Laden ever was.
Hillary Clinton did it. Well, I don't think so. She might have been in the room, but she certainly didn't do it.
Oh yeah, and I know that was the thing. He made such a big deal about her taking out bin Laden. Right? No. First of all, it was Leon Panetta who did it. All right. And from what I understand, he did it against the wishes of Valerie Jarrett. So that being what it is, Obama gets credit for that. Clinton's trying to take credit for it, but it really is inconsequential when we think about what the actual situation was over there to begin with.
Yeah, and this thing with bin Laden, the easiest decision ever made. Easiest decision ever made. Who was going to say, no, you should never have done that, Barack?
Oh, I know who would have said it. Bill Clinton.
Oh, well, Bill would have. Yeah, well, Bill would, what? After he got done getting off from underneath whatever was underneath him?
Yeah, Bill Clinton had an opportunity to take him out and chose not to do it.
As Colin Powell was telling us that Bill's still busy doing.
Yeah. So, anyway. So it's reminiscent of what went on in 2012. We've got another pending revelation coming up. The lawyers for this gentleman, Tory, were saying we have not been given the documents that we need to be given so that we can present a defense. And what happened? The Obama administration decided we're not going to let that happen.
No, we're transparent enough not to let that happen.
Yeah. Okay. So, Tory, let me just close on this note here. We got just a couple minutes before the break here. Tory was indicted in 2014 on 4 felony counts, 2 of arms dealing in violation of the Arms Export Control Act, and 2 of lying to State Department officials on official applications. Mm-hmm. The charges accused Tory of claiming that the weapons involved were destined for Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. All right.
Yeah, Emirates. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we know that's where the guns were sitting on the ships, and they were supposed to go to Qatar. That's what the paperwork showed, but they didn't. They never made it there. They went to the embassy instead. And the arms were actually intended to reach Libya. Tory's lawyers argued that the shipments were part of a U.S. government-authorized effort to arm Libyan rebels. So the defense is saying our guy, whether or not he violated laws, whether or not he misrepresented what he was supposed to be doing, he was doing it under the auspice of the U.S. government. And
well, it's funny that, again, in this article, because during 2013 Senate hearings, 2012 Benghazi attack, Clinton, under question from Rand Paul, said she had no knowledge of weapons moving from Libya into Turkey. WikiLeaks head Julian Assange, maybe the guy that she wanted a drone, in July suggested that he had emails proving Clinton pushed the flows of weapons going over to Syria.
Yeah.
Maybe why she wants them droned.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me that she didn't know anything because she doesn't know anything anyway. But
well, she knows how to clean a server, like with a cloth.
Yeah. But the defense of this gentleman was saying that they wanted more documents, and they wanted documents about this rebel arming effort, and they wanted testimony from officials that worked at the State Department and CIA. And Obama chose not to let any of that come into the public eye. Why? It's election time.
Yeah, exactly. That would bring undue notice towards just the most popular thing that they have going on, the foreign policy debacles that are in the Middle East under Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. So he's not going to let that come into play. That would just might make it into some newscast somewhere. That would probably be over in Britain, probably not in the U.S. news, but it might make it on TV in Great Britain.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering. All this has just come out in the last week, and I'm just wondering. I hope somebody is tapping Donald Trump on the shoulder, saying, "Okay, this is what we're going to do." They're going to come at you about being the racist, bigot, the hater, the xenophobic, whatever it is they're going to throw at you, and you need to change the topic. Kane did it on Prince a couple of times the other night. I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about this. Somebody should be tapping Trump on the shoulder, saying, we need to bring this stuff up. They haven't had time. I'm sure the Clinton campaign isn't even looking at this because they don't really expect it to come up. Yeah. Trump needs to blindside him. He needs to come up and talk about this kind of stuff. You get in foreign policy, well, let's talk about the Libyan gun running. All right? Not the Muhammad video. Let's talk about the gun running. You know, let's do something. Let's talk about something that deals with some facts. You guys just dropped charges against the gun runner that was running the stuff on your behalf. Okay? And just let her try to weasel out of that. All right? We got to go to break. When we come back, we'll continue here. We're going to get into the Obamacare. You got to hear this, guys. We'll be right back.
Talk Radio, WRS
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call. But I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
If you've got joint pain, let me ask you a question. Would you like a high-quality knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Now, just in case your reception isn't great, let me ask you again. Would you like a pain-relieving knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Well, if you have Medicare insurance, you could qualify for these pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And these are high-quality braces. They are very comfortable, and they've helped thousands relieve their pain. Now, I'd like you to imagine going on vacation, playing with your grandkids, just living your life again without pain. The Mobility Hotline is a referral service that connects folks with Medicare coverage and other insurance to accredited companies offering pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And don't you worry about the Medicare paperwork. They'll handle it all for you. And they'll deliver your braces for free. Call the Mobility Hotline now. The call's free. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate. We want to encourage you to visit our website, the conservativesyndicate.net, and you can pick up this archive of this show, any of our shows, find out what you need to know about the show, who we are, what we do, and why we do it. The conservativesyndicate.net. All right, I want to get into this thing with Obamacare. I've been wanting to do this for a couple of weeks. I'm kind of glad we held off because there's some other things that have materialized in the process here. The most notable thing, I guess we can start off by talking about the Obamacare fiasco as it's evolving as we speak, is the fact that we're hearing nothing out of the Hillary Clinton camp in terms of Obamacare anymore. She's not talking about it at all anymore in any of her rallies or anything else. And there's a reason for it. It's in trouble, and it's in big trouble. I read today, did you know this, Joe, that out of the 23 exchanges that were put in place, or, the states that agreed to set up state exchanges when Obamacare was kicked into gear, that there's only 6 of them now that are operating?
Yeah, I thought there was 7, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I knew that they're few and far between anymore. But I also know that Obama is illegally refusing to make payments to the Treasury, and instead he's trying to give it to the funds collected under the Obamacare to the insurance companies.
Yeah. Now, it took me a few moments to kind of put this whole thing together, this latest act of collusion between Obama and the insurers. And don't think for 1 minute that that's not what this is about. This isn't about the insurers coming into this program and just suddenly realizing, oh, we've been duped. Okay?
Oh, it was built in, John. It was built in.
Yeah. And but here's the deal. This is the way this is supposed to go down. The insurers that are concerned about the losses and the reason why they're telling everybody we need to pull out because the losses are just too great. And we know that Obama's trying to do everything he can to make up for those losses. Now, a lot of it has to do with raising premiums. A lot of it has to do with increasing deductibles because the risk pools that they set into place that were supposed to offset any possible loss, the risk pools, nobody made any money on it. So there was no money to pull from Peter to pay Paul. Peter and Paul are both broke. So you can't pull from one to pay the other. So and this is the way this went down. I'm sure of it. As soon as, and it will, if there is any investigation done on this at all, to any degree, somebody's going to come up with the same conclusion here. It did. It took me a little while to figure it out. But anyway, here's the deal. The insurers are threatening to sue the Obama administration over their losses. Now, the Treasury has a fund that's set aside for settlements. Okay, apparently there's more than $1.7 billion in it, which went to Iran. But there is money that's supposed to be set aside for what? For settlements in lawsuits. That means if the government decides they want to settle something rather than go through the process or the litigation, they have money to pull out and be able to do that. So the way it's being presented in the press and the media is this. The insurers are upset. They're disappointed. They're pissed off. And they're threatening to pull out unless they get their money. And so Obama's saying, well, we're trying to get your money, but we can't really get your money because there is no money to give you. And so what they say, well, then we'll sue for it. All right? I bet you Obama told them to sue. Yeah. I'm sitting there thinking he must have told them, this is how we can get you the money. Just sue us, and we can justify going in and raiding this fund in order to pay you. I wonder how much money's in there. And if there's not enough to cover these, I mean, we're talking about billions of dollars. Billions of dollars.
It's billions, John. Here, let me give you some numbers on this a little bit, okay?
Okay, great.
Reinsurance purposes is what we're talking about here, and this is what was built into the program. $10 billion should be collected in 2014, $6 billion in 2015, and $4 billion in 2016. For the Treasury, an additional $2 billion must be deposited in 2014 and 2015, and an additional $1 billion owed in 2016. The administration can decide how much to collect for administration costs. But Health and Human Services didn't collect as much as anticipated from insurers. Ooh, the benefit from for the benefit year 2014, it collected only $9.7 billion instead of 10. While that was enough to cover the claims, $7.9 billion. It's the projected $12 billion anticipated would need to be paid out to insurers and the Treasury. Health and Human Services interpreted the law permitted it to roll the 1.7 leftover collections to be used for reinsurance in the futures. It did not deposit any of the money into the Treasury, which it should have. That's Barack Obama's administration is shorting the American people of the money so it could give it to the insurance companies.
So we're talking about another lockbox situation where the lockbox was never filled.
Yeah, this is called the Transitional Reinsurance Program.
Okay, and the point of it was this must have involved the risk pools that they were talking about, that money was going to come out of these risk pools that were going to be set aside for the purpose of making sure that nobody lost any money in this. Am I correct?
Yeah, this is exactly what this was. This was their guarantee. This is what they built into the system to get these people to go, hey, sure, we're going to – why would they ever do this? Oh, we can't make money. Oh, but you don't have to worry about making money. We're going to cover your losses.
Yeah, and that was the purpose. Two things that the Obama administration was relying on. One was the mandate. They thought we're going to put a mandate out there that's going to force everybody to buy. Of course, the young and the unsick were supposed to be paying more than they would ever use, and that would offset the losses of insurers having to cover the ones that are sick. That's how they were going to get around the you have to give them insurance whether they're uninsurable or not. Okay, that's what that was supposed to be about. And then this program that Joe's talking about here was supposed to be run by the risk pools. Some insurance companies were going to make a ton of money, some may not. And so they would take some of that money, put it aside, and they would use it to offset losses to the other side. But nobody made any money, so there's nothing to put away. So now I'm telling you, Obama told these people, well, sue us for it, because that's what he does. Yep. He does things. Isn't that what he's done with Congress? I'm going to issue an executive order. You don't like it? Sue me. All right? And it's the same thing. So the way the media is playing it, as I said, is that the insurance companies are upset, and so they're suing. I'm telling you, Obama, this was their Hail Mary. Well, we'll just let them sue us. Sue us, and then we'll just settle out of court, and we'll pull that money out, and we'll give it to you. Now, getting back to Hillary Clinton on this just for a moment here.
Oh, hey.
You got more,
John,
Joe?
just for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just for a minute. No, the insurance companies sue the American government and the American people. So what's that do? Oh, when this thing finally collapses, well, we can't go back to those evil insurance companies. They don't give a crap about the American people. They're suing the American people, for crying out loud. Let Big Uncle Sugar take care of you now with our single payer system.
Yeah, as he's slipping money under the table to them through this fund that's not supposed to be used for this and not supposed to be used without congressional approval. And all this thing is going on. Now they have another demon. Now they can go back out there. Look at these insurance companies. See, this is why we need single payer, because these private sector insurance companies, they want to take advantage of the American people. Yep. That's how that narrative is going to go, and that's how Hillary Clinton is going to play it. Right now, she's remaining quiet. This article I'm reading here for the Post editorial board, I think it was the Washington Post, says that she's not promising to expand Obamacare. She's not promising to protect it. She's not talking about its benefits. She doesn't mention it. Her website says stuff about it. She's going to expand the unpopular program. I want to play you a clip here real quick here. Let's see, how long is this clip? 49 seconds? Yeah, 49 seconds, okay? I'm going to play it and we'll go to the break. And we'll comment on it when we get back. This is Hillary Clinton answering a response at a town hall that took place last year. This is the last time she talked about it, or one of the last times she mentioned it, back when everybody was talking about what a great success it already was, and everything was just working hunky-dory. Yeah, the website didn't work, but everything was hunky-dory anyway. And this is a clip. She was asked by a voter, and I'm just going to play the clip for you. We'll go to break, and we'll come back and comment on it.
I just want to know why there's discrimination against the part-time workers when so many companies are going to part-time when it comes to FMLA.
Well, that's why they're going to part-time. That and also the Affordable Care Act. We've got to change that because we have built in some unfortunate incentives that discourage full-time employment. A lot of employers believe if you don't work 40 hours a week, you don't get benefits. And that includes you don't get a health care benefit. That might include you're not eligible for the family and medical leave. You're not eligible if they have paid sick days. So there is a disincentive within our system that we need to deal with. And I'm really worried about it because there's a trend to try to move more and more people into part-time work.
The Syndicate wants you. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. You can get all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. That's theconservativesyndicate.net.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
the conservativesyndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. Okay, hey, we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. Now, the clip that we just played before the break, let me recap it for you. Basically, she was asked by a voter at a town hall, this is last year, and she was asked, in fact, it was during the primaries, this is back when she was running against Bernie Sanders, and she was asked what she was going to do about fixing the problem with employers going to part-time positions so that they could avoid providing Obamacare to their employees. And Hillary comes out and says, yeah, that's a problem. It's a problem because it's actually encouraging employers to create part-time positions. But, you know, that's part of those 15 million jobs that Barack Obama has created since he's been president. The part-time positions, the underemployed, you know, people getting taking jobs for less than what they're used to getting, that type of thing. And, of course, the reduction in 40-hour weeks to 32 or less so that employers don't have to deal with the mandate of Obama. And she says the phrase that you had to pay attention to in that was she said, yeah, unfortunately, there are built-in incentives that allow employers to bypass paying employees or providing Obamacare through insurance because of the part-time thing, and that's why they're going into part-time work, and we have to fix that. We have to fix that, okay? Once again, a built-in incentive. Now, does that mean it was intentional, or does that mean it was accidental? Whether it is one or the other, the point is it's not helping people get insurance, and it is not making it easier for employers to keep full-time employees.
Yeah, and it didn't help the people that had full-time jobs that had to go to part-time jobs now, did it?
Yeah. Now, it turns out that, you know, it's not an unshared value between her and her husband. Now, I've heard her try to, when she has talked about Obamacare, she basically says something along the lines of, oh, it's been a great program, but we need to fix it, or we need to do, you know, it needs to be tweaked. Because, you know, Obama's out there saying the same thing. But Obama's saying it different. What he's telling us is Obamacare has real problems, but Congress refuses to fix it. So now it's back in the Republicans' hands. You're not fixing these problems. You're not doing what needs to be done. Well, what can be done at this point? One, raise taxes? Or two, let him rob this special fund they're talking about?
How about both?
Yeah, or how about both, okay? Obama claims that they're fixable problems in terms of strengthening the marketplace. What's that mean? Let's move closer to that single-payer system. You know, let's get into nationalization because that's been the cry all along. Obamacare would increase competition because now private sector would have to compete against the government. That's what the thing is. Improving subsidies so more folks can get it. What's that mean? It means raising taxes. We need more money. Making sure everybody has Medicaid who is qualified. That's what led to the problem of the exchanges shutting down. Everybody's going into Medicaid. Medicaid is completely taxpayer subsidized. You've only got so much money to put in there. All right? So this is Obama's fix. We need more money. That's Obama's fix. And Republicans aren't going along with us. That's the problem. Now, I want to play this next clip. This is Bill Clinton. This is just a couple days ago, by the way, folks. Just a couple days ago. Somebody needs to put a muzzle on Bill Clinton. He's going to blow this election for Hillary Clinton if Hillary Clinton doesn't do it herself. This is Bill Clinton at a rally the other day talking. I don't know exactly where he was at. I forget where he was at. But listen to this very carefully.
People that are getting killed in this deal are small business people and individuals who make just a little too much to get any of these subsidies. Why? Because they're not organized, they don't have any bargaining power with insurance companies, and they're getting whacked. So you've got this crazy system where all of a sudden 25 million more people have health care, and then the people are out there busting it sometimes 60 hours a week, wind up with their premiums doubled and their coverage cut in half. It's the craziest thing in the world.
All right. Did you hear Bill Clinton how he laid that out? He said this is the craziest thing in the world. And why is it the craziest thing in the world? He said, well, first and foremost, the government doesn't know how to organize. They don't know how to communicate with private insurers. What's happening is people are getting whacked. That's the phrase he used. He goes, they're working 60 hours or more to pay their premiums, but their premiums are doubling and deductibles are going sky high. And this is crazy. This is crazy. Now, this is Bill Clinton talking about his buddy Barack Obama's signature legislation. And he's out there telling the American people what everybody else already knows. This is completely out of control. And the reason it's out of control is because nobody knew how to cut the deal in the first place. Apparently, everybody had to read the deal to find out what was in it, including the insurers, apparently. What do you think, Joe?
I think it's absolutely probably the only thing he's ever said that was truthful. But they knew this, John. They knew it was doing this. They absolutely, oh man, this is just, Bill Clinton actually spoke the truth for once. He must have been really drugged up that day or something. He's in Flint, Michigan. He's in Flint, Michigan, telling all these people that, hey, our fellow Democrats, we're out there screwing everybody. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was really very daring of him to come out and be so obviously honest about people having to work so many more hours. See, you've got two sides of the coin here. You've got people that are not working at all and or being put into part-time status that can't get the insurance, or you got people working 60 hours a week to try to maintain the premiums that are doubling and the deductibles that are going through the roof. So what are you doing here? Okay, so you're creating 15 million jobs. How many of those jobs, I wonder how many, I think the number Bill Clinton used, okay, so we have 25 more million people insured. But the costs of it are astronomical. And the people that are being whacked over it are the employers and those who had plans and but can't afford the deductibles and the premiums. So everybody that the only people that benefited from this are what? Are the people that get it for free.
Yes, and guess who else gets this? Let's extrapolate this on down. Those small businesses that had 30 or less employees, or 30, a little over 30 employees, had to drop these people off. If they had a little more than 30 employees, remember, they had to get rid of them, because if you had more than that, you had to be giving these people all kind of benefits that they didn't need nor want at a higher cost. Oh, why is our economy just chugging along at 1% growth, GDP growth?
Oh, that was the other thing that Clinton mentioned in his discourse. Not only were the premiums and the deductibles going up, but the coverage of the plans was cut in half. He used that phrase. The benefits are cut in half, and they're paying higher deductibles and premiums. And it was right before that, and then right after that, he says, "This is the craziest thing you've ever seen."
Absolutely. Yeah, coming from the mouths of babes. There's the truth. Yeah.
Well, as we're talking here, I'm trying to get back here because I got to reiterate this. Okay, I got to reiterate this. When Tim Kaine was asked in the debate the other night about how Hillary Clinton was going to improve the economy. All right. Now I've got to share this with you, because in light of what we just said, you got to really know. In light of what we just said, how Hillary Clinton proposes to be able to fix this thing. Okay, and I'm scrolling back up here. Give me 1 second here. There was actually towards the beginning of the debate. And I think it was one of the first questions they were asked about here. And I got to get back up here. These transcripts are so low or so long sometimes.
Well, he wants to make an economy that works for all.
Yeah.
Not just those at the top.
Okay. It was after they talked about how great each one of them, the candidates were. And then I believe, let's see here. Okay, economy. Quijano says, there are a lot of people wondering in this country about the economy. Let's turn to the issue of the economy. According to the Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, neither of your economic plans will reduce the growing $19 trillion gross national debt. In fact, your plans would add even more to it. Both of you were governors who balanced state budgets. Are you concerned that adding more to the debt could be disastrous for the country? Now, Tim Kaine comes out and says, these are the 5 things Hillary Clinton wants to do. We want to invest in manufacturing infrastructure and clean energy jobs, okay, climate change. Second thing, we want to invest in our workforce from pre-education to great teacher, okay, school, free school. Third, we want to raise the minimum wage. Fourth, we want to promote small business growth. You can't do that if you're going to keep on with this Obamacare thing. And then they have a tax plan that targets tax relief to the middle class. How are you going to do that if everything's being sucked up by Obamacare? That's my point. We're out of time, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll get on the air here tomorrow and maybe go a little bit deeper into this. You really got to understand what's happening here. We love you. Visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. We'll talk to you. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best in uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, along with Joe Hayko, signing off until next time right here at the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.